Ladies, let me tell you something. There is a big difference between being noticed and being unforgettable. A man can notice a lot of women, but the kind of woman he can't ignore, that's a whole different level. That's you when you step into your power. Confidence is one of the most powerful forces a woman can possess. It is the difference between blending in and standing out, between being overlooked and being unforgettable. When a woman walks into a room with confidence, people notice. Not because she's the loudest, not because she's the most glamorous, but because confidence has an energy that cannot be ignored. It is magnetic. It draws people in without effort. Men especially are wired to recognize confidence. They can sense it in the way a woman carries herself, in the way she speaks, in the way she makes eye contact. A woman who truly believes in herself doesn't need validation from anyone, and that is exactly what makes her so captivating. When she knows who she is, when she embraces her flaws and her strengths, when she owns every part of herself unapologetically, she becomes a force to be reckoned with. True confidence doesn't come from external factors. It's not about how expensive her clothes are, how perfect her makeup is, or how many compliments she receives. Confidence is internal. It is built from self-respect, self-love, and the ability to stand firm in one's beliefs and values. It comes from knowing that no matter what happens, she is enough. She is worthy. She is valuable. That kind of confidence doesn't waver when someone doesn't text back. It doesn't crumble when faced with rejection. It doesn't shrink in the presence of someone more successful or attractive. A woman with confidence commands attention without demanding it. She doesn't have to beg for love, chase after affection, or prove her worth. She simply exists in her power, and that is enough to make people take notice. Confidence is what allows her to walk away from situations that don't serve her. It's what keeps her from settling for half-hearted love. It's what enables her to speak her mind without fear of judgment. She understands that her voice matters, her opinions are valid, and her presence alone is impactful. The beauty of confidence is that it radiates through everything a woman does. It's in the way she walks, the way she smiles, the way she interacts with the world around her. When she enters a room, people can feel her energy before she even speaks. She doesn't have to seek attention. It naturally gravitates toward her. And when a man meets a woman like that, he cannot ignore her. She isn't just another pretty face. She's a presence. She's a memory that lingers long after she's left. A confident woman doesn't compete with other women because she understands that her only competition is herself. She doesn't need to tear others down to feel good about herself. She celebrates other women's success because she knows that someone else's light doesn't dim her own. She carries herself with grace and strength, never needing to prove her worth to anyone but herself. Her confidence makes her standards unshakable. She doesn't tolerate disrespect, mixed signals, or inconsistency. She knows what she deserves, and she refuses to entertain anything less. She understands that walking away is not a loss, it's a gain, because when she removes herself from situations that don't align with her value, she makes space for something greater. She doesn't beg to be chosen because she chooses herself first. Men are naturally drawn to confident women, not because they are hard to get, but because they are secure in who they are. A confident woman doesn't rely on a man to complete her. She wants a partner, not a savior. She doesn't need someone to make her feel beautiful, successful, or worthy. She already knows she is. That kind of self-assurance is intoxicating and makes a man work harder to be part of her world because he knows she won't settle for just anyone. The most powerful thing about confidence is that it isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. It grows with every challenge you overcome, every time you stand up for yourself, every moment you choose yourself over someone else's approval. Confidence is developed through action, through stepping outside of comfort zones, through proving to yourself that you are capable, resilient, and worthy of everything you desire. It's not about arrogance or acting like you're better than anyone else. True confidence is quiet but undeniable. It's the ability to walk into any situation knowing that you belong there. It's the ability to handle rejection without letting it define your worth. It's the ability to love yourself fully, even on your worst days. It's the ability to stand alone without feeling lonely because you are at peace with who you are. When a woman embodies that level of confidence, she is unforgettable. She becomes the type of woman who turns heads, not just because of her beauty, but because of her presence. She is the woman who leaves an impression without saying a word. She is the woman who doesn't need anyone's approval because she already approves of herself. She is the woman who doesn't chase, she attracts. Standards are what separate a woman who is merely noticed from a woman who is truly valued. The way a woman carries herself, what she allows, what she accepts, and what she walks away from all define the level of respect she commands. A woman with high standards does not beg for attention, nor does she tolerate half-hearted efforts. She knows her worth, and because of that, she naturally stands out. A woman with standards understands that the way she treats herself sets the tone for how others treat her. She does not allow disrespect in any form, whether it comes in words, actions, or the energy someone brings into her life. If a man is inconsistent, plays mind games, or fails to show up for her in the way she deserves, she does not complain or try to convince him to do better. She simply removes herself. She knows that a man who truly values her will not need to be reminded of how to treat her. There is a difference between being easygoing and being too accommodating. Many women think that lowering their standards will make a man like them more, that if they accept less than what they truly want, they will be seen as understanding or low maintenance. But the truth is, when a woman lowers her standards, she also lowers the level of respect she receives. A man may enjoy the convenience of a woman who always says yes, who never challenges him, who accepts his excuses, but he will never truly value her. Men are drawn to women who have expectations because those expectations show self-respect. A woman with standards does not just take what is given to her. She requires effort, consistency, and commitment. She knows that love is not just about attraction, but about action. She does not listen to words without seeing proof in behavior. A man can say he loves her, but if his actions do not align, she does not make excuses for him. She does not settle for potential. She does not fall in love with empty promises. She looks at what is real, what is present, what is being shown to her, and she makes her decisions based on that. Some may say that having standards makes a woman difficult, that it makes her high mental or hard to deal with, but the right man will see it differently. He will see it as a challenge, as something worth striving for. He will not see her standards as an obstacle, but as a reflection of her value. A man who is truly interested in a woman with high standards will rise to meet them. He will not be intimidated by them. He will respect them. A woman with standards does not fear being alone because she knows that being single is far better than being in the wrong relationship. She does not settle for attention when what she wants is commitment. She does not entertain men who are unsure about her because she knows that if a man truly wants to be with her, there will be no doubt, no hesitation, no confusion. She understands that waiting for the right man is better than wasting time with the wrong one. Her standards are not just about how a man treats her, but about how she treats herself. She invests in her own growth, her own happiness, and her own success. She does not wait for a man to complete her life because she knows she is already whole. She sets goals, works hard, and builds a life she loves. She knows that a relationship should be an addition to her happiness, not the source of it. She also understands that standards are not just about having a long list of requirements, but about having clarity on what truly matters. She is not unrealistic expecting perfection from a man, but she does expect respect, honesty, and effort. She knows that no relationship is without challenges, but she also knows the difference between healthy compromise and lowering her self-worth. She does not tolerate mistreatment in the name of love. She does not mistake struggle for passion. She does not believe in staying in a relationship just because of time invested. She knows that time alone does not determine value. Respect, effort, and emotional safety do. When a woman has standards, she does not beg for love, she does not settle for breadcrumbs, and she does not shrink herself to fit into someone else's life. She walks with confidence, knowing that the right man will recognize her worth without needing to be convinced. She does not compete for attention because she knows that what is meant for her will never require her to diminish herself. She moves through life with certainty, knowing that she is worthy of the best, and because of that, she attracts nothing less. A woman who focuses on her purpose rather than just her presence naturally stands out. She is not waiting to be noticed, validated, or chosen. She is too busy building, growing, and evolving. When a woman prioritizes her goals, her passions, and her personal growth, she becomes magnetic. She operates from a place of fulfillment, not desperation. She moves with direction, not just emotion. And because of that, she attracts attention without even trying. Men respect and admire a woman who has a life of her own. A woman who wakes up every day with a sense of purpose, who is working towards something meaningful, carries a different energy. She is not just sitting around hoping for love to complete her. She is creating a life that is already. She understands that a relationship should complement her journey, not define it. That kind of woman intrigues a man because she is not dependent on him for happiness. She is whole within herself. When a woman focuses on her purpose, she shifts the power dynamic in any relationship. She does not need to chase or cling to a man's attention because she has something bigger driving her. She is not constantly checking her phone waiting for a message because she is occupied with her own aspirations. She is not adjusting her entire life to fit someone else's schedule because she has her own priorities. That level of independence and ambition is what keeps a man interested. He sees that she is not just looking for someone to complete her, she is looking for someone who can add to what she has already built. A woman who is driven by purpose is naturally more confident. She walks with a sense of self-assurance because she knows she is working towards something valuable. She does not settle for mediocrity in any area of her life, including relationships. She does not waste time on people who do not align with her vision or who bring negativity into her space. She values her time, her energy, and her peace. And because she values herself, others value her too. Her ambition does not make her intimidating, it makes her inspiring. A man who is secure in himself will admire a woman who has her own goals and dreams. He will see her as an equal, not as someone who needs saving or shaping. He will understand that her strength is an asset, not a threat. The right man will not feel diminished by her success. He will be motivated by it. He will not try to slow her down. He will keep up. A woman who leads with purpose also creates a natural sense of mystery. She is not overly available because she is engaged in things that matter to her. She is not predictable because she is constantly growing, learning, and evolving. She does not base her entire identity around a relationship because she has other sources of fulfillment. This keeps her dynamic, exciting, and continuously interesting. When a woman is focused on her purpose, she also develops resilience. She learns how to handle challenges, setbacks, and failures without falling apart. She understands that difficulties are a part of the journey and she faces them with strength. This resilience makes her even more attractive because she does not crumble under pressure or rely on others to fix her problems. She stands firm, finds solutions, and keeps moving forward. She does not allow relationships to distract her from her goals. She understands that love should be a partnership, not a detour. She does not put her dreams on hold to accommodate someone who does not support them. She does not shrink herself to make someone else feel comfortable. She remains true to who she is and where she is headed, knowing that the right person will respect and encourage her growth. Men notice a woman who is passionate about something bigger than herself. They are drawn to the fire in her eyes when she talks about her dreams. They admire the way she carries herself with purpose and direction. She does not have to prove her worth through words or desperation. Her actions speak for themselves. She does not need to chase because she is already attracting people who respect her drive. A woman who is deeply invested in her purpose radiates a different kind of beauty. It is not just about how she looks. It is about the energy she carries. She does not seek attention, yet she gets it. She does not beg for love, yet she receives it. She does not follow trends or try to fit in. She creates her own path. That kind of woman is not just noticed, she is remembered. She is admired. She is valued. Mystery is one of the most powerful qualities a woman can possess. It creates intrigue, it holds attention, and it keeps a man coming back for more. A woman who reveals everything too soon, who lays all her emotions, thoughts, and plans on the table without hesitation, removes the excitement of discovery. But a woman who maintains an element of mystery keeps a man's interest alive because there is always something new to learn, something unexplored, something just out of reach. Men are naturally drawn to a challenge. They enjoy the thrill of uncovering layers, of earning access to a woman's deeper thoughts and emotions. When a woman makes herself an open book too quickly, when she overshares or seeks constant reassurance, she removes that sense of intrigue. But when she is selective about what she shares, when she allows things to unfold over time, she creates anticipation. She makes a man work to understand her, to get closer to her, to uncover the depth of who she truly is. A mysterious woman is not distant, but she is not overly available either. She does not feel the need to be constantly present in a man's life to keep his attention. She has her own world, her own passions, her own interests that keep her engaged. She does not drop everything the moment a man calls, nor does she rearrange her schedule to accommodate him at a moment's notice. This does not mean she plays games or manipulates. She simply maintains a life that does not revolve around any one person. That in itself is intriguing because it signals value. It shows that she is not dependent on external validation to feel whole. Men respect and admire a woman who has an air of unpredictability. When she does not always respond immediately, when she has things going on that he is not always privy to, when she takes her time in revealing her thoughts and emotions, it creates a sense of depth. He begins to wonder about her, to think about her, even when she is not around. She is not just another person passing through his life. She becomes someone he wants to figure out, someone he wants to understand on a deeper level. A woman who keeps a sense of mystery also understands the power of selective sharing. She does not feel the need to disclose every detail of her past, every insecurity, or every thought that crosses her mind. She knows that vulnerability is valuable when given at the right time to the right person. She shares in layers, allowing trust and connection to build naturally. This makes her words more meaningful because they are not given away carelessly. It makes a man appreciate the moments when she does open up because it is not something she does with just anyone. Mystery is not about playing hard to get. It is about maintaining individuality. A woman who has an aura of mystery does not need to make herself seem unavailable on purpose. She genuinely is engaged in her own life. She is not waiting by the phone. She is not obsessing over every interaction. She is not constantly seeking attention. Instead, she is living, growing, and pursuing her own goals. That energy is what keeps a man drawn to her, wanting to be a part of her world. A woman who keeps a man's interest understands that consistency is important, but so is variety. She does not fall into predictable routines that make a relationship feel stale. She keeps things fresh by continuously evolving, by surprising him, by introducing new experiences, conversations, and ideas. She remains someone who challenges his mind, who engages him emotionally, who excites him with her ability to think independently and navigate life on her own terms. The presence of mystery does not mean withholding affection or being emotionally unavailable. A woman can be warm, caring, and deeply loving while still maintaining an element of unpredictability. She does not have to be cold or distant to be intriguing. What makes her fascinating is her ability to be present without being overly accessible, to be engaged without being dependent, to share without overexposing. She never allows herself to become someone a man takes for granted because there is always something new to discover about her. She evolves, she grows, she continues to develop different sides of herself, Whether it is learning a new skill, diving into a new passion, or simply deepening her self-awareness, she never remains stagnant. That ability to keep evolving makes her endlessly interesting. Men remember women who keep them on their toes, who inspire them to be better, who keep them curious. A woman who understands the power of mystery does not fear losing a man's attention because she knows that true interest is sustained by depth, by discovery, by the constant unveiling of new layers. She is not easy to define, and that is what makes her unforgettable. A woman who radiates joy and peace carries an energy that is impossible to ignore. In a world full of chaos, stress, and emotional turmoil, a woman who embodies inner happiness and calmness stands out effortlessly. She does not need to be the loudest in the room, nor does she need to constantly seek attention. Her presence alone is enough to make people gravitate toward her. Men, in particular, are drawn to women who bring a sense of peace into their lives because they are constantly facing pressures and challenges of their own. When a woman becomes a source of joy rather than drama, she becomes irreplaceable. A joyful woman is one who has learned to create happiness from within. She does not rely on a man, a relationship, or external circumstances to determine her emotional state. She wakes up every day with the intention of making the best out of life. She finds pleasure in the little things, appreciates what she has, and does not dwell on what she lacks. She has trained her mind to focus on gratitude rather than negativity. This mindset makes her glow differently because she is not burdened by unnecessary stress, resentment, or emotional baggage. She moves through life with a lightness that is refreshing to be around. Men are naturally drawn to women who bring them peace. A woman who is always complaining, arguing, or creating unnecessary drama becomes exhausting to be around. But a woman who knows how to navigate challenges with grace, who communicates without hostility, and who can bring calmness into a stressful situation is a breath of fresh air. She does not engage in pointless fights just to prove a point. She does not create problems where there are none. She chooses her battles wisely and focuses on solutions rather than dwelling on issues. This level of emotional maturity makes her a rare find. A woman who radiates joy is also playful and fun. She does not take life too seriously, nor does she allow small inconveniences to ruin her mood. She knows how to laugh at herself, enjoy the moment, and bring a sense of adventure into everyday life. This playfulness is magnetic because it makes her a pleasure to be around. A man who is constantly dealing with work stress, personal pressures, and life's responsibilities will always be drawn to a woman who can make him smile, who can lighten his burdens rather than add to them. She understands that her energy is her greatest asset. She protects her peace by avoiding unnecessary conflicts, toxic relationships, and environments that drain her. She does not entertain gossip, negativity, or drama because she values her mental and emotional well-being too much. She sets boundaries to maintain her happiness and does not allow anyone to disrupt her peace. This level of self-awareness makes her incredibly attractive because it shows she respects herself enough to walk away from anything that does not serve her. A peaceful woman does not operate from a place of insecurity. She does not need to control a man, monitor his every move, or act out of jealousy. She is confident in herself and in her ability to attract and maintain a healthy relationship. She trusts that what is meant for her will stay and what is not will leave. This sense of security allows her to love freely without fear, without desperation, without manipulation. A man respects and admires this type of woman because she does not bring unnecessary tension into his life. Instead, she becomes a place of refuge, a safe space where he can be himself without judgment. Her ability to remain calm in difficult situations is another quality that sets her apart. When life throws challenges her way, she does not panic or fall apart. She approaches problems with a level head, finding ways to navigate them without letting stress consume her. She understands that her reaction to situations determines their outcome, so she chooses to handle things with wisdom and composure. This ability to stay grounded even in difficult times makes her someone a man can rely on. A joyful woman also spreads positivity to those around her. She uplifts people with her words, her actions, and her presence. She does not bring others down with complaints or negativity. Instead, she encourages, supports, and inspires. This makes her not only attractive in relationships, but also in friendships and professional settings. People enjoy being around her because she makes them feel good about themselves. She has a way of turning a bad day into a good one simply by being herself. Her happiness is not dependent on circumstances. She understands that life will have ups and downs, but she chooses to focus on the good. She does not allow setbacks to break her spirit or disappointments to define her worth. She keeps moving forward with hope and optimism, knowing that better days are always ahead. This resilience makes her incredibly attractive because it shows strength, faith, and an unshakable belief in herself and her journey. Men may be initially drawn to a woman's looks, but what keeps them interested is how she makes them feel. A woman who brings peace into a man's life, who makes him feel at ease, who does not add unnecessary stress or drama, will always have a special place in his heart. She becomes the woman he never wants to lose because her presence makes his life better. A woman who radiates joy and peace does not need to chase anyone. She naturally attracts the right people, the right opportunities, and the right kind of love into her life simply by being herself. Confidence is one of the most powerful traits a woman can have. It is not about being the loudest in the room or demanding attention. It is about carrying yourself with an undeniable sense of self-worth. A confident woman does not seek validation from others because she already knows her value. She walks into any room with her head held high, not because she thinks she is better than anyone else, but because she refuses to be anything less than the best version of herself. That kind of energy is magnetic. It captivates people. It draws them in without effort. Men are naturally drawn to women who exude confidence because confidence signals security. A woman who believes in herself, who does not second-guess her worth, and who does not shrink to make others comfortable, becomes irresistible. She does not need constant reassurance or approval because she has already validated herself. She does not beg for love or attention because she knows she is deserving of it without question. This level of self-assurance sets her apart from the rest. A confident woman does not settle. She does not entertain half-hearted efforts, mixed signals, or inconsistent behavior. She knows what she brings to the table and will not waste her time with anyone who does not recognize it. She does not chase, she attracts. She does not beg, she expects. She does not lower her standards out of fear of being alone because she understands that being alone is far better than being with someone who does not appreciate her. That kind of mindset makes a man take notice. He knows that if he wants to be with her, he must step up. He must be consistent. Confidence is not about arrogance. It is about self-respect. A woman who respects herself naturally earns the respect of others. She does not tolerate disrespect, dishonesty, or games. She communicates clearly, sets boundaries, and does not waver on what she knows she deserves. She does not stay in situations that diminish her value or make her question her worth. She has the courage to walk away when necessary, knowing that anything she loses by standing up for herself was never truly meant for her. A confident woman is also comfortable in her own skin. She does not compare herself to other women or try to fit into unrealistic societal standards. She embraces her uniqueness, knowing that her individuality is what makes her special. She does not feel the need to compete because she understands that there is no competition when you are secure in who you are. This level of self-acceptance is powerful. It makes her shine in a way that no amount of external validation ever could. Her confidence extends beyond her appearance. It is in the way she speaks, the way she carries herself, the way she interacts with others. She is not afraid to express her opinions, to stand up for what she believes in, or to take up space in any room she enters. She does not shrink to accommodate anyone else's insecurities. She knows that her voice matters, her presence is valuable, and her dreams are worth pursuing. She understands that confidence is not about never having doubts or insecurities. It is about not allowing those doubts to control her. She faces challenges with strength, knowing that failure is not a reflection of her worth, but simply a step in the journey towards success. She does not let fear stop her from going after what she wants. She takes risk, embraces new opportunities, and believes in her ability to achieve greatness. A woman with confidence is also uplifting to those around her. She does not tear others down to feel better about herself. Instead, she inspires, encourages, and supports. She carries herself with grace and kindness, knowing that true confidence is never about belittling others, but about lifting them up. She radiates positivity, making people feel good in her presence. Confidence is not just something she shows in relationships, it is something she embodies in every aspect of her life. It is in the way she pursues her goals, the way she overcomes setbacks, the way she continuously grows and evolves. She is always striving to become better, not for the approval of others, but for herself. She understands that confidence is a lifelong journey, one that requires self-awareness, self-love, and continuous effort. A woman who is truly confident does not just attract attention, she commands it. She does not just exist in a man's life, she makes an impact. She is unforgettable because she is unapologetically herself. She does not wait for permission to be great, she simply is. That is the kind of woman a man cannot ignore. That is the kind of woman who leaves a lasting impression. That is the kind of woman who changes the game.